Good morning. A quick movie review. There is a film out called La Sociedad de la Nieve, The Society of Snow, which is a remake of the film Alive from 1993, which is based on the extraordinary misadventure of the Argentine rugby team that went down in an airplane in Chile. Um, I forget I think it was a French author who wrote the book about the experience, which was also called Alive in English. Um, I simply want to say that I asked myself why they would bother to make the film when there are so many films that should be made because the first version wasn't good enough. For example, True Grit by the Coen brothers. Uh, uh, Coen brothers, whose movies I don't particularly love, but they did a wonderful job making True Grit, and it felt like they decided they had read the book, which is brilliant and short and simple, by somebody like Annie Proulx, and they decided, the John Wayne thing just won't do, uh, uh, and in fact, the John Wayne did spoil the movie, and so they decided to make right and make the version correctly, and they did, and it's wonderful. So in this case, you ask yourself, why make a remake of Alive? And I looked at both. I looked at Sociedad de la Nieve, and then I looked again at Alive, and again I asked myself, why do it? What they did with Sociedad de la Nieve is very good, but it is basically a remake of Alive, and the effect is very similar. Both versions are excellent. Personally, I prefer the 1993 version, which has heart, and the new version has a lot of um, pretentious tone and nonsense because this guy likes Terrence Malick too much. Terrence Malick has been a very poor influence on film as well as on television commercials, with this profound tone and inner dialogue and all that stuff. And there's even a lot of Catholicism in the movie, which this particular viewer doesn't dig at all. So, Alive is for me good and shouldn't have to be remade. Sociedad de la Nieve is worth watching because, again, it's an extraordinary story. It's well made. It's made by the guy who made The Impossible. And you're wondering why he made it until they come to the avalanche. And his technical ability to do the avalanche was absolutely extraordinary. But still, he should be expending his efforts on something else. And let's remember, this is the guy who, in The Impossible, changed the actors, the people who were the victims of the tsunami, who were non-white. I think they were uh, Indonesians or mixed race, brown people, and he changed them to blondes from Northern Europe for commercial purposes. That is a cop-out that he has a long way to make amends for. So in this film, again, I'm asking, why make the movie? Is there something about the 93 version you didn't like? The 93 version, by the way, had less money, and they got a great deal done with less money, a great deal done. And it had Ethan Hawke in it, and it has a beautiful epilogue by John Malkovich, and it had Eric Bana, and it had, no, not Eric Bana, but the guy who did Baby It's You. I forget his name. He wound up not having a great career, but he was a good actor. A lot of good acting, a lot of good action, beautiful stuff. End of review.